Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do One Piece episode 603 review. That is 6, that is O, that's right, that's winder up. Yeah, 3 review One Piece. So, of course, before I get started, look down in the description below for the link to the episode on OnePieceOfficial.com. Also, look down in the description below for the link to the preview for next week's episode, One Piece, episode 604, also in the description down below. Now, that being said, this week's episode of One Piece. Alright, hold on, wait. One Piece! Oh! That's right! Yeah! That's right. Yo, so this week's episode of One Piece, man. Well, first of all, I'm actually surprised because it was better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, it's a pretty good episode. Yeah, let me start by saying that. It's a pretty good episode. The pacing, which is like my biggest gripe for all, well, more so the animation I can deal with sometimes, right? Well, no, I can deal with almost all the time. Sometimes it's utter shit, but that's another story. But normally it's the pacing of the One Piece episodes that I normally just cannot fucking stand sometimes. But in last week's episode of One Piece, it was pretty good. It was pretty good pacing. And in this week's episode of One Piece, the pacing was also relatively well done. So, and I was surprised. I was like, really? Like, okay, like there was no, like normally, like there'd be scenes. Like again, like let me bring up the Blackbeard scene, dun 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 dun, and like he'd be literally just like walking, like, and it'll be like 5 minutes of that, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? So, but there was none of that. Like there was a few stall moments here and there that were necessary to build up the hype, but there weren't like moments where there was an excessive amount of OST playing and just motherfuckers doing like dumb shit. Like walking down the street, and there's mad hype on that. It's like we don't need that in this situation, and there was none. So, okay, that was good. That was good. Like for example, like when we have Eustace Kid walking down the hallway to the place where Scratchman, Apu, and Hawkins are. There wasn't like a long ass OST like soundtrack going on while he's walking down the hallway. I was like, no, like we walked down the hallway and we got to the damn door. It was like, okay, fine, good, fair enough. And you know, you would think that this would be obvious, but in One Piece anime, sometimes they do this excessive OST hype buildup, and it's like, where's the pacing going? Like, what the fuck? Like, how we point A to point B? But this week's episode of One Piece, pretty good pacing overall. Animation, it was normal animation. When it came to the end, where we see Kinemon and Zoro do like a tag team slash, where they cut down the shutters. Pretty damn good. Like we had them like literally like jump off Brownbeard, who has like this big steel pipe on his hands, and like they jump from that pipe, and like it's like they're kind of like flying, like mock flying, and then they just cut through. Zoro does his regular cuts, and then Kinemon has like a fire wave, and then they just blast through the actual shutters. So that was pretty cool when it came to animation. And the animation was overall pretty nice. So, I mean, yeah, like the episode was as good, in my opinion, as last week's episode of One Piece. It really was. To be more specific, first of all, let me talk about the episode itself. We have the reveal of course, well, not the reveal, but we've seen, well, first of all, let me say this, all right? When we see some of the brokers, right, again, we see Peckham some time ago, we see a few unknown faces. One of these guys has a top hat, okay? And I believe his hair is made just like Rob Lucci's. So the initial assumption that, even to this day I believe, is that this person may be like Rob Lucci, alright? Now, all he said in this episode was what? Because he was surprised that Caesar Clown was able to get, you know, Smoker, Law, Luffy, Nico Robin, and so on, and, you know, well-known people. And so that's all he says. What? But I don't know if it's the same voice actor as Rob Lucci. I don't know. I have no idea. So they did a really good job in hiding if this person was Rob Lucci or not. It could be someone completely different, also rocking a top hat. But Like, as of right, and the main pair, yo, man, Lucci, bro. If it's Lucci, fuck, dude, I'm ready to fly. But that's the first thing. The second thing is that we see that there's now another alliance form. We just had confirmation of the Straw Hat and the Heart Pirate Alliance, right? Luffy and Law teaming up, no homo. Now, we have the on-air pirates, the Hawking pirates, and the Kid pirates. I believe they're called the Kid pirates, yeah. They're teaming up too. We have Eustace Kid, Scratchman, Apu, and we have Basil Hawkins forming an alliance, or at least they're trying to. They're trying to have negotiations, and things aren't planning out. Well, they didn't turn out too smooth in the episode when it came to their alliance. And Killer's trying to maintain, all right? He's trying to regulate, but it's very hard to do that when you have, you know, arrogant, cocky motherfuckers, pissed off dudes, and just a dude that just does not give a fuck whatsoever. That's Hawkins, that's Apu, and that's Eustace right there. But there's a very important thing to note. So when we take a look at the current bounties, all right, I forgot what Law was, but Law, I believe, was around 440 million, all right, before he became a Shichibukai. And of course, we all know that once you become a Shichibukai, your bounty stops. Like, it's a dead-end bounty, unless you leave the Shichibukai and become a pirate once again. We have Luffy, who is at 400 million. I believe he deserves more, but remember, he was on a 2-year hiatus, so that makes sense. You would think that his bounty would actually raise immediately after he took Fishman Island as his own territory. Like, that should have been an immediate increase in one's bounty. Like, that should have been automatic. Just saying. But not the case. Even in the manga, not the case. Some of a spoiler. Kind of. Now, when it comes to Eustace Kid, 470. He's almost in the 500 mark. And remember, according to Oda, and according to what he revealed, I forgot where he revealed it exactly, but the highest bounty we've seen so far is Ace. Ace is like 550 some odd million. And according to Oda himself, if NL were to go into the Grand Line in the New World, he would easily have a bounty of over 500 million. So they're getting in that range, you know, like OP Logia range. And to this day, I mean, let me just sidetrack for a little bit, right? To this day, we've never seen Ace fight at full power. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We never seen him fight at full power. You can go back the entire series, not once. Not once. So, and then when you compare him to NL, NL was destroying entire fucking islands. Like it was his job. Like, yeah, fuck you. So, my God. But that's another story. So basically, and I know that bounties aren't really like a power scale thing, because you can have a dude that has a higher bounty than Luffy, but Luffy would still beat the shit out of him if he's not well combat versed. I mean, there's also other factors like your background, what you've done to civilians, your ties to other pirates and the Marines, and so on and so forth. So bounties aren't a real good power scale method, but that's, you know what, fuck it. Let me leave it at that. Let me leave it at that, alright? So basically, Eustace Kid, he's almost in the 500 million berry mark. Right now at 470 million. Killer's at 200 million. We have, and here's the big surprise. Scratchman Apu was at 350 million. Hawkins is at 320 million. Now that's surprising because pre-time skip, Hawkins was above Apu. But now it's the reverse, where Apu was above Hawkins. Now I remember I did a video a while back, and according to that video, because there was like a spoiler done like a year ago. According to that spoiler, it was like amongst the supernova of the old, Drake would have the highest bounty. And according to that spoiler, he'd have like over 600 million. Like some crazy shit. And like, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, Drake? T-Rex? This dude? No, fuck out of here. But, I mean, I don't know, because we haven't seen Drake even in the manga. So, I mean, we'll see. But it's just surprising to note that Apu has, and I forgot what that spoiler entailed, like a year and a half ago. But basically, it's surprising to note that Scratchman Apu has now a higher bounty than Basil Hawkins, which means that he's been doing a lot more when it comes to his recognition in the New World than Hawkins. So, but these three are going to form an alliance. And remember, according to Tamago and Peckham's, they've had issues with Kid. Okay. Now, we have Law and Luffy forming an alliance for a particular reason, we don't know why. And remember that Kid is forming an alliance, but note that he's already had troubles with Big Man. So, just saying, alright? Just keep this shit in mind. Keep it in mind, alright? Just keep it in the back of your mind, so when it comes up again, you'll be like, oh! Like you'll pull the Asian old man. Oh! You know? Now I sound racist. Now, the next thing on the episode, alright? Basically, the main... so basically, we see Law, Luffy... Law switched the bodies of Tashigi and Smoker, so now they're back in their original bodies. And they're basically escaped. Frankie is on Sunny Go duty, as usual. Come on, people, as usual. Frankie's on ship duty. I mean, I get it, he's a shipwright, but still, it's like, dude, go in there. Fuck some people up, you know? So he's on ship duty, and we have... Basically, they've infiltrated the laboratory. They've opened the gates, allowed the Marines to come in there. Now, the key thing here to know, all right, and there's small things to know here and there. Number one, all right, Law, very smart, very smart, very smart. He never had Kairoseki. And if you're wondering as to why Frankie or Luffy couldn't, I mean, Luffy obviously because it was Kairoseki, but Frankie, you're thinking Frankie, he's a cyborg. He should be able to bust out chains easy, but he couldn't. Why? It's Kairoseki. And Kairoseki is stronger than steel. How much stronger, we don't know. It's probably even stronger than the Wappo metal. It's probably stronger than that. The things that the pacifists are made out of. The Wappo metal. I mean, it's very strong stuff. So when you can break Kairoseki, you're pretty damn powerful. We saw Bo Hancock do it because she has a pretty hacks ability where she kicks. When she kicks, what she touches turns to stone. So when she broke Smoker's Jite, it was because of the fact that she turned that part of the Jite to stone. And in this case, we see Law use his room, or he cuts the Kairoseki. So very impressive. Now, before then, he has no sword. All of a sudden, we see him do that thing he does for that light, like his room circle setup. But we don't see a circle. And Law's powers are, I don't get it. Sometimes the circle's, well, most of the time, the circle's there. But sometimes he just goes room, but you don't see the actual room. It's like, where's the room, bro? Like, where's the room? And then his sword just appears in thin air. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, what? But keep in mind, all right, that Law's room, well, that Law's powers were active, not active, but like he could use his powers the entire time because he never had the Kairoseki on him. And remember that we just saw him perform the room ability without actually seeing the intangible circle. And remember what happened to Chopper last week's chapter. Just saying, man, just saying. We need more details on Law because Law's ability confused me sometimes. Because even in the manga, it was the same thing. He would say room, but sometimes you would never see the fucking room. It's like, where's the room, dude? Like, is it completely invisible? Like, is it for only combat purposes? Do we see the room? But sometimes when he's gonna grab a particular item, he has an invisible room. I don't know. He's Trafalgar Law. I don't know this guy anymore. I have no idea. But Law is Law. And basically, the whole entire thing about it is that Smoker, they cannot tell any of the Marines about his ties to Joker. So that's the whole entire plan right there, right? That's his condition in order for them to actually leave. And after some convincing with Tashigi, they in fact are, rescued, or they are released by Trafalgar Law, and they escape. Now, the thing about this, all right? So that's one other thing. So the whole thing is that they're now inside the laboratory. The Marines are also inside the laboratory, and the shutters are closing. And then what we see here beforehand is a meetup between Zoro's group and Usopp's group. And now they're all riding on Brownbeard, and they basically go in there, and then we see that really nice scene of Zoro and Kinemon cutting the shutters down, and then like they just busting like, yeah, we're fucking in here too. And Luffy's like, we're all back together. Let's kick some ass. Let's do our thing. Oh yeah, and I forgot. So I explained beforehand how Nami, because Sanji's using certain techniques with Nami's body, and that's very impressive. However, in this incident, when they're running from the gas, her cardiovascular, well, her cardiopulmonary system cannot handle the stress of running in that manner for such a long fucking time. So Sanji is about to lose pace because he can't physically do it inside Nami's body. He grabs a titty. All of a sudden, he's like, speed, and then he catches the dragon. So that was a funny moment right there. And pretty much so that's it actually. And now they're inside. They're ready to go. They're ready to fuck up shit. And Caesar Clown, Virgo, Monet, they may know now but they didn't know pre-hand because of the fact that they used the smoke from Frankie's fireball. And that's right, a new technique. It's not the Frankie fire anymore. It's a fireball, an actual ball that comes out. And Nazi, where you at, bro? Where you at? But it's no story. And we'll leave it at that. So overall, episode pacing, good pacing. It was good pacing. Animation overall, pretty solid animation. Again, when it came to the ending, very nice animation with the Zoro Kinemon collaboration cut. Yeah, the collaboration cut. I'm gonna call it yeah. The title of this episode review: Zoro and Kinemon collaboration cut. Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. Cause that was cool. It was cool as shit. They're like, yeah, fire. Fuck it. That was nice. And that's it. So the rating overall, I'll give it a good plus, and we'll leave it at that. So King of Lightning, be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.